Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to this review video. It's for the new supplement for Dark Angels, so a big thank you to Games Workshop for sending me a copy of this through the post. You can check out gamingfigures.com, the link for them is in the video description below. They do Games Workshop and other gaming systems, all at a discounted rate available from them. So it's like a full review I'm going to flick through all the pages, I'm going to go through all the rules, warlord traits, stratagems and so on here for this supplement that goes with the Space Marines Codex. If you're going to get Dark Angels, you need the Space Marine Codex. That's going to have the majority of units, your standard Space Marine stuff. Check out the review for that. I think it's in 2 parts already on the channel for the Space Marines Codex, and then you'll also need to pick up the supplement to give you your specialised rules, stratagems, units, and so on for Dark Angels. So Dark Angels, I've always had my eye on this faction. Out of all the different Space Marine chapters, these, as I think, encapsulate sort of the grim dark aspect of 40k the most. So often fighting against the most heretical of traitors and the darkest of enemies, and so the Dark Angels, very sort of grim dark sort of thing with them. So if I was to paint them up, I think I go for sort of a battle worn effect with them, so dust and grime and dirt, and sort of tone them down. I think with the colour scheme, wouldn't want them all bright and so on, but sort of a battle worn kind of effect. Chipping and washes and dust around the legs and feet and so on. And then for the basing, I think sort of an urban type colour scheme. And some incredible models available for the Dark Angels, for sure. And some of the new Primaris stuff does look nice painted up. I'm thinking about units like Blade Guard Veterans look particularly nice painted up as Dark Angels. So maybe something, we hardly see them on the channel, but looking forward to times when we can have Dark Angels back again, maybe in some of the Challenge the Scorpion games when we can do those once again. So take a look at the artwork. There's I'm not sure how to describe them, they have a different feel about them compared to any of the other chapters. They're certainly unique. And structure wise as well, because it's not just your dark green, you've got your Ravenwing options as well, and then you've got your Terminator bony cream colour as well. So here fighting against chaos. You know, perhaps you're at a club where you've got a circle of friends, they're all collecting chaos and chaos demons and all of that kind of stuff. So you might want to collect Dark Angels to, to cleanse them. The Inner Circle, Hunt for the Fallen, there's that storyline as well. The Rock. That's a nice colour scheme, this one here. Angels of Redemption's Third Company. Yeah, not bad. There's some of the split colour schemes are nice, this one's particularly good. That was weathered up nicely. Lots of grime around the legs and so on. Chipping effect, they look pretty good. Grasses look particularly nice. Nice with the bone colour around the muzzle of the face there. It's nice colour being introduced. And that's just, well, it's Blades of Vengeance, right, so it's that. Great Ravenwing. That's it, Deathwing, yeah, that's the sort of the bone kind of colour scheme. Some of the key characters, Samael, Belial. Interrogated Chaplains, apparently it's a very good unit now in this book. Azrael, Some incredible options. Some of the alternate colour schemes you can go for. So Angels of Redemption looks particularly good. One of the things that's always been something that's not entirely put me off, but something I've always had a question about, and that is if you are going to go for one of these different successor chapters, how do you get the transfers for them? So if you have gone for any of these here, for example, leave it in the comment section. How did you get your transfers? Say for Knights of Abhorrence, for example, Prime Absolver is another one, just unique transfers here that might be hard to track down. If there's anyone, maybe there's some alternate companies that make them out there, maybe. But if you have any information, leave it in the comment section, because there's going to be other Dark Angel players here, and you know, if you've sourced any of this kind of stuff, it can really help other people out. I do like the Angels of Redemption though, that split colour scheme. Consecrators look pretty good, but it's just all your standard sort of black armour. Disciples of Caliban, not too bad either. Blades of Vengeance, just have a little look here. Guardians of the Covenant look quite good, that grey colour scheme, I'll paint them up pretty quick. Prime Absolvers, Knights of Abhorrence, that nice turquoise colour, another option. Okay, so let's give you your markings. Yeah, I'm not completely sold on I've said it before in previous reviews, there's the Blade Guard veterans in the bony sort of colour. It's okay. I reckon I'd paint them differently. That's the Ravenwing. Just giving you some examples of the alternate colour schemes you can go for. Covenant looks quite nice with metallic armour. There's the Angels of Redemption, the split colour scheme. Not bad. But of all these here, they're painted very crisp and clean. I would go for effect as a big priority, to really tone them down with weathering, grease and grime and dust and so on, just to really tone them down. I think would be the way that I go about with those. Again, fighting against chaos. Here's the rules for the Dark Angels. But definitely the remedy, the antidote to an overbalance of chaos, perhaps in your group of friends or a club, just go for Dark Angels and enjoy the multitude of options to fight against. You've got multiple chaos players, take your Dark Angels and cleanse them one at a time. I think I'd enjoy doing that if I was at a club with lots of chaos players. So, just giving you some background information there. Combat control. Right, so here we go. Detachment abilities then for the Dark Angels. So, as I said, I don't collect Dark Angels, but if I was to collect them, so that's the kind of review. It's going to be Tactica here as well, what I go for, what I wouldn't go for, things that sound particularly good. So I'm going to keep a lookout for some good rules here. So Dark Angels Detachment is one that only includes models of the Dark Angels keyword. Note that such detachment is also an Adeptus Astartes detachment, as described in Codex Space Marines. Just the link there is between the two, and as such all the Adeptus Astartes detachments abilities also apply to that detachment. So +1 attack on the charge, heroic intervention, if you are charged, for example. Ravenwing units in Dark Angels detachments do not already have the Jink ability. Gain the Jink ability, that's on page 61, it's interesting, so we'll come to that. Deathwing and Inner Circle units of Dark Angels detachments that do not already have the Inner Circle ability, gain the Inner Circle ability. So just clarifying, bring in, say, a tactical squad in, then the abilities are transferred over for the Dark Angels. I'll skip down that one. So, Sons of the Lion. Units of this ability have the following abilities, which are described below: Speed of the Raven, Fire Discipline, and Implacable. So, Speed of the Raven. While the Devastator Doctrine is active for your army, so that's like turn 1. Usually add 3 inches to the move characteristic of Ravenwing models from your army, so that's good enough, an extra few inches move. Ravenwing units from your army are eligible to shoot in the turn in which they advanced. Each time model in that unit makes a ranged attack in the turn in which it advanced, the attack suffers a penalty incurred to the hit roll as if it was firing an assault weapon. So it means you can fire your pistols, heavy weapons, rapid fire, and so on, even if you advance. And it's just the standard -1 for assault weapons. So useful. So they're pushing in the direction to use speed and to go straight after the enemy, which is what the Ravenwing's all about. So very helpful. And then Fire Discipline. Whilst the Tactical Doctrine is active for your army, infantry models in your army, excluding Deathwing models, can make attacks with rapid fire and assault weapons, excluding blast weapons, whilst within engagement range of enemy units, but must target an enemy unit that is within engagement range if its own unit when they do so. In such circumstances, the model can target an enemy unit even if other friendly units are within engagement range of the same enemy unit, while it's making such an attack. It has a ballistic skill of 5+. Yeah, right. Well, that's a very good rule and very unique. 5+ to hit whilst in close combat with anything, it seems. No, it excludes blast, and it's rapid fire and assault weapons, so the usual standard infantry weapons and so on. But very helpful. Implacable, whilst the assault doctrine is active for your army, so you're getting a bonus for each of the doctrines, which is a good spread here. Each time a Deathwing infantry or Deathwing dreadnought model from your army makes a melee attack against a character unit, or a unit that contains any models with wounds characteristic of 8 or more, you can reroll your wound rolls. Nice. Brilliant. Very, very good. That's another helpful rule. So some good inbuilt rules there immediately for the Dark Angels. Some very unique stuff for them. And all of those are very helpful. And they're nicely spread across the different turns as well. Okay, then the first company. So it's talking about Terminators, Terminator squads, Terminator assault squads, Relic Terminator squads, units of this detachment gain objectives secured. Nice, as described in the 40k rulebook. If your warlord is part of this detachment, the detachment command benefits are changed to +3 command points. Great. Second company, bike squads and outrider squads in this detachment gain objectives secured as described in the 40k core rulebook, and the same with the warlords, +3 command points as well. Brilliant. Very good. Helping as you theme your army, you may want to go sort of very heavy on first company or second company, then it's enabling you to not worry so much about taking troops. You can go for the themed unit such as Terminators or Bikers and still gain your objectives secured. So that's very helpful. That's been added in as well. I have to say, so far all the codexes, I'm impressed with all of them. Games Workshop I think have done an excellent job here. The rules seem sensible, they're well thought out, they seem fairer I think than previous editions and codexes and so on. So I'm a big fan of the new codexes and supplements coming out, and Games Workshop have done an excellent job. And so far this one seems, it's well thought out, the structure's good, reflecting what the Dark Angel's about. So far, so good. And just the rules seem fine. It's nothing crazy going on, but definitely some strong traits being granted exclusively to the Dark Angels here. It's looking good. So what you've got then is Rites of Initiation next. If your army is battle forged, when mustering your army you can upgrade any of the following units, excluding named characters and Dark Angels detachments in your army, to become members of the Deathwing. So Captain, Primaris Lieutenant equipped with a Storm Shield, a Dreadnought Land Raider, a Repulsor, Storm Raven Gunship, and a Transport unit that can transport Terminators. Each time you upgrade any of these units, it gains the Deathwing keyword, and its power rating is increased as here, shown here. It's all +1 for all of these, and the points values given there as well. Captain, it's 20 points. Primaris Lieutenant 15, Dreadnought 15, Land Raider, Repulsor, Storm Raven Gunship, and the Transport's all 10. It's not too costly to receive the Deathwing keyword. Yeah, that's it, just a few little bits there as well. So, first few pages, just the structure of your army and some sort of core benefits if you're going to go for Dark Angels. And it gives you bonuses and benefits if you're going to theme your army the way Dark Angels should be. Then those benefits kick in, and it helps you keep your army themed the Dark Angels they're meant to be, which is good. So on to Stratagems next, and looking for some good ones. Previous review was the Death Guard, if you haven't checked it out already. Some very, very, very good stratagems for them. So we're looking for similar stuff here with the Dark Angels. Just should be 2 pages for supplement. So obviously you've got all the Space Marine stratagems as well. It's 4 pages of them. And then you've got these 2 here, ones that are themed for the Dark Angels. So Wrath of the Lion, the first one, 2 command points. Use a stratagem in your command phase if a combat doctrine is active for your army. To the start of your next command phase, each time a Dark Angels model from your army makes an attack with a weapon specified by the active combat doctrine, or unmodified wound roll of 6, improve the AP, the characteristic of the attack by 1. This is cumulative for the bonuses for the active combat doctrine. You're going to use this stratagem once. So, yeah, melee weapons, extra AP -1, and then this one enabling you to pop 6s for a further -1 as well. Not bad. Yeah, it costs 2 CP, but I think it's across the board for your army, because the Dark Angels model from your army makes attacks. Yeah, so just at that key point, we need to make as much impact and cut through armour as effectively as possible, and you can play with that one if you time it right. Add Intractable, 2 command points. Use a stratagem in your movement phase when a Dark Angels unit from your army is selected to fall back. If that unit has the Inner Circle ability, you do not need to first roll 2d6 to see if it can fall back. It can automatically do so, and until the end of the turn the unit is eligible to shoot as well. Very, very useful tactically. Excellent. Deathwing Assault, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase when a Deathwing unit from your army is selected to shoot. Each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack, if it was set up on the battlefield this turn as a result of the teleport hammer or teleport strike, it's +1 to the wound roll. That's helpful. And it's only 1 CP. Nice. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, very helpful. Full Throttle, 1 or 2 CP. Use the stratagem in your movement phase. After a Ravenwing unit from your army advances, that unit immediately makes a normal move up to 12 inches, but is not eligible to shoot or charge. But this, if you need to get somewhere, that's very good. If the unit contains 5 or fewer models, it's 1 CP, otherwise it's 2. But what an incredible bit of speed available there with that one. Yeah, it's very helpful. Helpful stratagems, for sure. Line Unbreakable, 1 command point. Use a stratagem at the start of the fight phase. Select 1 Dark Angels infantry unit from your army. To the end of the phase, that unit can only be selected as a target for melee attacks if the attacking model is within engagement range of it. Note this means the enemy models that are not within engagement range but are within ½ inches of a model from their own unit that is itself within ½ an inch of a Dark Angels infantry unit cannot target it with melee attacks this phase. And that is very, very big as well, that one. So usually, for example, you've got a melee going on as the opponent's attacking you, they've got their models in engagement range, and then they're taking models within ½ an inch of one of those models within engagement range as well. Sort of 2 ranks usually, it roughly works out as. This sort of limits it just to the front rank getting to fight, pretty much halving the amount of attacks coming through, and it's just going to cost you 1 command point. A critical point in the battle, you find a unit's just been charged by 20 bloodletters or something, then that could be, well, that would be very, very helpful. How interesting. Line Unbreakable. Very useful stratagem, that one. Yeah, so they're not deal breakers, not game breaking stratagems, but if you know them and you can call upon them at just the right time in the game, you can really just take the edge off of some of the opponent's impact as they charge in. That one there specifically. They're all looking okay so far. I noticed that in some of the older codexes, some of the stratagems were like a complete and utter waste of time. You never even looked at them, wouldn't even bother with some of them. They were so useless. I noticed it especially with the 8th edition codexes. But now more with the 9th edition and these newer codexes coming out, the vast majority of these stratagems have some use. They're sort of worth playing here. I'm noticing it with these. None of these seem a waste of time. They're all useful stratagems, which is good. So, Games Workshop, getting the impression they're giving you decent stratagems and they're not trying to fill out space with stratagems that are just a waste of time. These all seem pretty good so far. But we'll see. Next is High Speed Focus for 1 command point. So use a stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase when you allocate a ranged attack to a Ravenwing vehicle from your army. To the start of your next turn, that model has a 4+ invuln save against ranged attacks. Fantastic. Right, well there's a gem. 4+ invuln save. Brilliant. Excellent one, that one. Not 5+, 4+. Very, very good. No foe too great to subdue. 2 command points. Use a stratagem in the fight phase when a Deathwing Knight's unit from your army is chosen to fight. To Till the end of the phase, each time model in the Deathwing Knights unit makes an attack with Mace of Absolution against an enemy vehicle or monster unit. It's +1 to attack's wound roll and improve the AP by 1. Yeah, a little bit expensive, but if it helps you do the job. No, if you're in the right situation, you'd happily pay the 2CP. Marked for command. Getting the impression there's some really good ones here. So it looks like you want to create an army that's got a nice stash of command points available. Yeah, looking good. Marked for command. 1 command point. Use the stratagem before the battle. Select a Dark Angel's Ravenwing Huntmaster or Knightmaster model of a Dark Angel's model from your army. That's the word Sergeant. Right, so you're getting access to your special issue war gear. Add Paragon of the Chapter. Extra Warlord trait. Relics honoured by the Rock, just the usual. Tactical Appraisal. Next, use the stratagem in your command phase. Select 1 Dark Angel's unit from your army within 6 inches of your Warlord. Then select 1 Combat Doctrine. To the start of your next command phase, for the purposes of that unit, treat that Combat Doctrine as being active for your army instead of the active Combat Doctrine. Right, so you're able to switch them around. Yeah, it's not core unit, it's just a unit. So, for example, as your battle line's about to be struck by something, or you need a unit to go out and get involved in a combat, then you can switch on the Assault Doctrine for that unit whilst the rest of the army remains in Tactical Doctrine, for example. So that's another very useful stratagem. The Hunt 2 or 3 command points. Use a stratagem at the start of the first battle round before the first turn begins. Select 1 Ravenwing unit from your army. That unit can make a normal move as if it were your movement phase, but must end that move more than 9 inches away from enemy models. If both players have units that can move before the first turn begins, the player who is taking the first turn moves their units first. If the unit contains 5 or fewer models, it's 2 CP, otherwise it's 3. And again, another stratagem that's giving you extra speed. So it looks like Ravenwing are going to be very quick across the table, very fast. 2 useful stratagems, that one and the full throttle there as well. Targeting Guidance next, 2 CP. The great thing about Dark Angels as well is there variety of units within the Dark Angels. You've got your standard Space Marine stuff, then you've got your Ravenwing units available. And then you've also got the Deathwing as well. And if I was to collect a force, I'd probably go for a mixture of all 3, just to give like a broad representation of the chapter. So that is a bonus here for the Dark Angels for sure. So 2 CP for Targeting Guidance. Use a stratagem in shooting phase. Select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches invisible to Ravenwing Land Speeder or Storm Speeder unit for your army. To the end of the phase, each time model in a Dark Angels unit makes a ranged attack against a selected unit. It's +1 to the hit roll. So getting you that vital 2s to hit, for example. Yep. Especially with the Storm Speeders and some of their loadouts with loads of DACA or the anti-tank ability. Just hitting on 2s just makes them very reliable. So excellent. Swift Strike, 2 or 3 command points. Use a stratagem in the fight phase after a Ravenwing unit from your army has fought. If that unit is within engagement range of any enemy models, it can fall back as if it were the movement phase. Otherwise, it can make a normal move as if it were the movement phase. If it's 5 or fewer models, it's 2 CP, otherwise it's 3. So use this in the fight phase after you've made your attacks. And you can pull back. So, yeah, that is a gem, that one. Because you charge in, do your attacks, and before it comes round to your opponent getting to strike back, move away. That is a big one. That's fantastic. Well. Very good. Okay, so Swift Strike's an excellent one. Secret Agenda is next. 1 command point. Use a stratagem after selecting secondary objectives or agendas. Do not reveal one of your selections to your opponent. The first time you score victory points or experience points for it, reveal it to your opponent. Note that you must still have a record of your selection. So it's a secret secondary, basically. Yeah, useful, maybe. You could do something quite clever with that. You could do, for example, a secret cut off the head, kill the enemy warlord and not tell the opponent. keep it a secret and then just pick up a load of points. So you can do something clever with that one. Very good indeed. Stasis Shell next. 2 command points. Use your stratagem in your shooting phase after a Ravenwing model from your army shoots at the start of his grenade launcher. That model can make 1 attack with this weapon this phase. If the hit is scored, the target is caught in a stasis until the start of your next turn and the attack sequence ends. Whilst a unit excluding vehicles and monsters is caught in a stasis, it cannot fall back. Okay, it's quite expensive to do it. Interesting, locks them in. Weapons from the Dark Age. Use your stratagem in the shooting phase and a Dark Angel's unit from your army selected to shoot. At the end of the phase, +1 to the damage characteristic of plasma weapons. Models in that unit are equipped with it. That's the sort of the preference. Dark Angels do like their plasma weaponry, so you get an extra wounding ability with that. Now that is going to be very useful on Hellblasters, I think. Devastator squads. So encouraging you to stick to the theme of Dark Angels, which you see them equipped with plasma a lot. Nice. So that's the stratagems. They look pretty good. And there's some great ones in there for sure. So stratagems looking very good indeed. So I'm getting the impression Dark Angels, Space Marines already had a very broad codex, tons of options. Dark Angels making them even more, just getting a solid sort of feel with Dark Angels. Some great abilities across the board for the army, and some very helpful stratagems. So looking good here. Warlord traits then. Now we'll see what we've got here. Looking for some good ones. And remember, you've got access to the Space Marine ones as well. Brilliant Strategist. If in your command phase, you can select one friendly Dark Angels unit within 6 inches of the Warlord until the start of your next command phase. Each time model that unit makes an attack, if the Tactical Doctrine is active for your army, then the Devastator Doctrine is considered to be active for the attack instead. Okay, and then each time model in that unit makes an attack, if the Assault Doctrine is active for your army, then the Tactical Doctrine is considered to be active for the attack instead. So a bit of flexibility with doctrines available with that Warlord. Yeah, okay, depends how you combo that up with units nearby, but could be useful, yeah. Fury of the Lion is an aura. While friendly Dark Angels units within 6 inches of this Warlord, if this Warlord has made a charge move, was charged, or performed heroic intervention this turn, add 1 to the strength characteristic of models in that unit. And that is an aura ability, and it's for just Dark Angels units, not just core units, but across the board. So that one is very good. God. +1 strength to all of those units. Fury of the Lion is looking very strong indeed. If you're going for a sort of assault based options. Wow. Calibanite Knight. Each time the Warlord makes a melee attack against an infantry or biker unit, and a modified roll of a 2+ is always successful, useful, but that one there is Fury of the Lion is fantastic. Stubborn Tenacity. When the Warlord is destroyed, if it does not explode, you can use the Warlord trait instead of using any other abilities that take effect as a result of the model being destroyed. For example, Starter's Banner. If you do, this Warlord is not removed from play until the next turn or the end of the battle, whichever comes first. Until that happens, it's still considered to be in play, but any further wounds this Warlord would lose are not lost. So, interesting one. Yeah, so I just have to reread it. I think it's a case of the character dies, and then you just keep the model on the board for the turn, and then the auras and the abilities it's granting continue on until the end of the turn. So it's going to be removed from play. But for example, reroll ones or some kind of ability that continues on even though the model's been removed from play, and that lasts until the start of the next turn. So yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. Alright, next one. Decisive Tactician. While a friendly Dark Angel's core unit is within 6 inches of this Warlord, add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for that unit. Okay, so maybe useful if you're trying to deep strike, perhaps. Interesting. And then, or if you're going for sort of Deathwing and you've got a load of bikers, just get an extra bit of movement, an extra bit on the charge. Honour of the First Legion. This Warlord is eligible to form heroic intervention as if it's within 6 inches horizontally and 5 inches vertically of an enemy unit. So a bit of a stretch there with that one. But I think this Fury of the Lions, the deadly one, then that's the golden nugget. With that one, the +1. Yeah, it's +1 to strength, not to wounds. Just having a little reread here. +1 to the strength characteristic and models in that unit. It's still good though. +1 strength across the board. Like, especially going from strength 4 to strength 5, it's still pretty big. So not too bad. And if you've got weapons, for example, that you're doubling your strengths, Thunderhammers for example, Power Fists, you're going from strength 4 times 2 to strength 8. Instead you're going from strength 5 double to strength 10. So that is quite big. It's still pretty good. Now these all look okay. Right, so we've got Ravenwing here. Oh, there's an extra bit to this one. So there's this bit and there's a little bit here as well. Each time this warlord, this is for number 6, Honour of the First Legion. Each time this warlord makes a heroic intervention move, so long as it ends that move closer to the closest enemy model, can move up to 6 inches. Alright, so it's just the usual for that. You get your 6-inch heroic intervention and you're allowed to move that distance to make sure you get in. Ravenwing warlord traits. So each time an attack is made against this warlord, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. Not bad, yeah, if you're trying to protect him. Okay, and then Master of Maneuver. This warlord is eligible to shoot or charge in a turn in which it fell back, and that's very useful. It says here shoot or charge, not both. Shoot or charge, fall back and charge. Yeah, no, it's useful to have that. Okay, and then Deathwing warlord traits. Once per battle, this is watched, once per battle in your opponent's psychic phase, this warlord can attempt to resist 1 additional psychic power, even if it's not a psyker and even if it's not within 24 of the enemy model manifesting the psychic power. When taking the Deny the Witch test, do not roll the dice, it's an auto pass. How interesting. Auto pass, and it doesn't matter where it is on the board. Okay, and then Inexorable. Each time an attack is allocated to this warlord, subtract 1 from the damage characteristics, -1 damage as well. So plenty of options, all looking pretty good. There's your fixed traits for characters. Asmodai, Fury of the Lion, Azrael, Brilliant Strategist, Belial, Inexorable, Ezekiel, Stubborn Tenacity, Lazarus, Brilliant Strategist, and Samuel, Master of Maneuver. So Interromancy discipline here. So this is the psychic powers specific for the Dark Angels. We'll take a look at these next. So I always liked, years ago, always loved I think it's the Ezekiel model. So in the blue, look quite nice amongst the darker green. So psychic powers then unique to Sin. Yeah, you get access to the Space Marine. One's the Obscuration or Librarius, but now you've also got Interromancy as well. So here we go. Mind Worm, number 1. It's Malediction. It's a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 enemy unit of an 18 with the Psyker. The unit suffers a mortal wound. To the start of the next psychic phase and the fight phase, that unit is not eligible to fight until all other eligible units from your army have done so. So it'd be quite a useful one to play on Mortarion, for example, if you're planning to plunge into him in close combat. Yeah. Interesting. Aversion next. It's Malediction. It's a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 enemy unit within 24 of this Psyker until the start of the next psychic phase. While that unit is within 6 inches of this Psyker, subtract 1 from the attack's characteristic models in that unit. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Okay, Righteous Repugnance. It's a blessing. It's a warp charge value of 7. It's a little bit harder to make this one go off. If manifested, select 1 friendly Dark Angels unit within 12 inches of this Psyker to the start of your next psychic phase. Each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you can reroll the hit roll and the wound roll. That's incredible. Brilliant. Reroll hits and wounds. God. Brilliant. That's superb. Play that on the right unit at the right time. I'm just going to double their effectiveness. Fantastic. Trepanation. Witchfire. It's a warp charge value of 5 if manifested the closest enemy unit within 18 and visible to the psychic takes D3 mortal wounds, exactly the same as Smite. If the result of the psychic test was greater than the leadership characteristic of the enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds instead. So very similar to Smite. Some people say, well, what's the point? With this, the idea is that you can do Smite and then do this power as well, so you can chuck out a nice lot of mortal wounds running the two powers side by side, and they're very easy to manifest as well. So I'm liking two combinations here. Take Smite, if your Psyker's got two options to go for, take Trephination, and just to make him a bit of a damage causing model, which can be very, very useful perhaps against a very tough target, just to grind some wounds away using mortal wounds, and then to help other units nearby, which is always good with a Psyker, I'd go for Righteous Repugnance. That is incredible. And try and see if there's any way through relics and so on of trying to make that more reliable. 7's a bit, you want some way of trying to improve that if possible, through rerolls or pluses and so on, to try and make that 7 a bit easier to obtain during the game, because that's well worth trying to make sure that Righteous Repugnance goes off, because it could be game changing for you. If you fail to get that off, your unit struggles instead of really cutting through the enemy targets. Those two I like very much. Engulfing Fear. Malediction. Engulfing Fear is a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 24 of the Psyker until the start of the next psychic phase. It's -1 leadership for that unit. The unit cannot use objective secured ability or similar abilities that allow them to control objective marker regardless of the number of enemy models within range of the objective marker. And if the result of the psychic test was equal to or greater than the leadership characteristic, the unit can't perform actions. And any action currently being performed immediately fails. Interesting one. Not bad. And then lastly, Mind Wipe. It's Malediction. It's a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 of the Psyker. Then select one aura ability the unit has. To the start of the next psychic phase, the unit loses that aura ability. How interesting. Yeah, okay. So there's some good ones there for sure. I still like the combination of these two, Trephination and Righteous Repugnance. But yet again, some good options here, I think, for the Dark Angels. Okay, so we're going to take a look at relics next. So, Relics of the Rock, just one page. Mace of Redemption. It's model equipped with a Power More or Crosius Arcanum only. You swap it out and you get ×2 strength, AP -3, and 2 damage. Each time an attack is made, melee attack is made against a fallen or heretic starter's unit, unmodified, wound roll of 4+, inflicts 2 mortal wounds on the target and the attack sequence ends. Ouch. Mace of Redemption looks excellent. It replaces a simple Powerball and you get that. Oh, pretty good. Wow. And the Crosius Arcanum, which is okay, but that's fantastic. And then, if, as I said earlier on, right at the start, you know, take Dark Angels if there's a lot of Chaos players in your group, and you're going to get even better results here against Heretic starters and Fallen units. 4+. Any 4+s to wound is 2 mortal wounds instead. Brilliant. Very, very good indeed. Next is Pennant of Remembrance. Deathwing Ancient model only. In your command phase, select one Deathwing Infantry Core unit for army within 6 inches of the bearer. To the start of the next command phase, each time an attack is allocated to a model in that unit, subtract 1 for the damage characteristic of that attack. Yeah, so I'm thinking Dark Angels, I would lean towards... I wouldn't play Gunline Space Marines. I would lean towards close combat. Not as outrageously as Space Wolves. As I would certainly aim to have some very, very solid, scary close combat units and characters. That's what I would go for. And primarily from the main sort of, I'm thinking, well, we'll come to the units a bit later on, but I'm thinking sort of Terminator type units and so on. And then some key characters really beefed up and turned particularly nasty. You want to create that impression of your opponent. You slam in with some of your Dark Angel units and just cut the enemy down and create a reputation for destroying whatever's in front of you. That's the kind of theme I go for. Obviously, firepower support You need speed in your army as well. Ravenwing can help you out with that. But that's the kind of... I wouldn't try and go for devastating firepower. Do some firepower, yes, for sure. Sort of a medium amount. But I would lean towards... maybe... And not loads of close combat units. That's not what I mean. I mean like a couple of core, really beefed up, nasty close combat units. Supported by some decent characters. Yep. That's the way I think I would do it. So the opponent quakes in fear when that unit turns up and slams into your battle line. Shroud of Heroes. Each time an attack is made against the bearer, it's -1 to the hit roll. Okay. Reliquary of the Repentant. Ravenwing biker model only, whilst an enemy unit is within 3 inches of the bearer. Each time an invuln saving throw is made for a model in that unit, there's an invuln save of 4+ or better. The saving throw is only successful on an unmodified roll of 5+. Okay, and then Foe Smiter. Model equipped with a Stormbolter. The relic replaces the Stormbolter and you get range 24, assault 4, strength 5, -1, 2 damage, so it's obviously much better. It's okay, but that's nastier. I go for the nastiest stuff. The Mace of Redemption's nasty. So I see that's scarier, melee, than the shooting, I think, and I'd lean towards making them scary in close combat. You know, so you're up against an enemy, they've brought some big demon type thing, it lunges towards your battle line, you say that's fine, fair enough, you send in a nasty unit and then cut it down. So I find that more satisfying than shooting it down, I think, is the way I play these. Eye of the Unseen. The bearer gains the following ability, Fear. It's an aura. When an enemy unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, subtract 1 of the leadership characteristic of that unit. And at the start of the fight phase, if an enemy character unit is within engagement range of the bearer, the unit is not eligible to fight until all other eligible units have done so. The Talon Master is able to take that relic even though it's a vehicle. It's okay, that one. Yeah, I wouldn't bother with that. Scary stuff's better. Scary combat stuff. Cup of Redemption. Chaplain model only. Once per battle, the bearer can recite the Feast of Malediction litany instead of reciting a litany that it knows. If it does, do not roll to see if the litany is inspiring. It's automatically inspiring. Nice. I'm liking that already. While a friendly Dark Angel's core unit is within 6 inches of the priest, +1 to attacks characteristic models in that unit. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So I mean, you put that onto your Terminator unit, give them all a +1 attack. Brilliant. Only once per battle, but just for that crucial time, you stack up a couple of stratagems and you just turn it into a murderous unit. So you got your special issue war gear. I'll briefly go through some of these because some of them are standard, others are themed here. So you got the Adamantium Mantle if you're 5+ feel no pain, Artificer Armour if you're 2+ armour save and 5+ invuln save. The Mastercrafted Weapon is +1 damage, and Digital Weapons, which can be given to the Talon Master even though it's a vehicle. You hit the target with an extra attack and it causes a mortal wound, which I do like the idea of that one. And then Heavenfall Blade. It swaps out for a power sword, Mastercrafted Power Sword, Relic Blade or Executioner's Relic Blade, and you get +2 strength, -4, 2 damage. Each time the bearer fights, you get an extra attack as well. And the Talon Master is able to take that as well, that's not bad. Arbiter's Gaze. Each time the bearer makes an attack, a hit roll of 2+ is always successful, including when firing Overwatch. Interesting. Irrespective of any modifiers or abilities the target may have. Each time the bearer makes an attack, the target does not receive the benefits of cover against the attack. The Talon Master can take that as well. That is very good indeed. 2 to hit, including Overwatch. And it makes an attack. I take it that's for close combat and for shooting. That one's very good. Atonement replaces a plasma pistol. You get range 18, pistol 1, strength 9, AP -4 and 3 damage. Brilliant. Bolts of Judgment. When you give a model this relic, select one bolt weapon. This model is equipped with. Each time the bearer shoots that weapon, you can choose for it to fire a bolt of judgment. If you do so, you can only make one attack with that weapon, but the attack has an armor penetration characteristic of AP -2, and damage of 3. When making that attack, unless the target is a vehicle or monster, it always wins on a 2+, and the Ravenwing Talon Master can be given the relic as well. There's some good stuff there for sure. Yeah, all looking pretty good. Right, now, so what we've got next is chapter approved rules. Trying to pick secondaries for your army, and we're thinking of this grimdark theme, core of infantry, Ravenwing, deep striking terminators, multiple options, nice tactically flexible army. I'd lean towards close combat, but this is a Space Marines chapter that is happy to try and cleanse the table of the enemy, or if they come under heavy attack, happy to counter-attack and repel the enemy. So these are, you're going to get picking up secondary points for achieving things during the game. So there's 3 options here. So with this, remember your sections, not so you don't double up, and you can only pick one of these. So purge the enemy section, then martial interdiction. If you select this objective, then after both sides have deployed, but before the first turn begins, your opponent must select one character model from their army. If their army does not contain any character models, they must select the Warlord instead. You score 6 victory points if the selected enemy model was destroyed by a melee attack made by a Dark Angels model from your army. You've got to try and hunt the model down, kill it in close combat. You score 3 additional victory points if the selected enemy model was destroyed by a melee attack made by an Inner Circle or Deathwing model from your army. And you score 6 additional victory points if the Dark Angels model unit that destroyed the selected enemy model has not itself been destroyed. Right, so you've got to keep that unit alive. So you fulfill the mission, you kill that target, and then keep that model alive, and you can get a nice lot of points for that. This will work better if you go aggressive with your army and try and go after your opponent, constrict them, cut them down so they can't run anywhere, and then go for the kill. Make sure you get that kill, because you can be left with 0 if it doesn't go to plan. Okay, no mercy, no respite. Score 2 victory points each time an enemy unit is destroyed by an attack made by a Ravenwing model from your army that moved 12 inches or more during the movement phase, or that made a charge move this turn. Okay, so definitely wouldn't want to choose that if you've only got like 1 or 2 Ravenwing models or units in your army, but if you've got a heavily themed Ravenwing army, then that's something to consider. And then Battlefield Supremacy, Stubborn Defiance. In your first command phase, select one objective marker. At the end of each of your command phases after the first, if you control that objective marker with a Dark Angels unit from your army that has the objective secured ability, score a number of victory points based on the consecutive number of command phases that you've controlled that objective marker. I love the thing of this. So after your second command phase, you get 2, third you get 3, 4 is 5, 5 is 5. For example, in your third command phase, if you have control the objective marker with a Dark Angels unit for 3 of your command phases, you will score 3 victory points that turn. So that's another theme I always thought I'd have for the Dark Angels is like 3 parts. You've got your Ravenwing units that are on the table that swing around. You've then got your deep striking nasty stuff to land in and deliver a killing blow and go out and do missions and stuff, and then you also have your core units to hold the middle ground, hold the centre of the table, to hold an objective. That is what you could do and take this Battlefield Supremacy one here. It kind of forces your opponent to react to that, because if your opponent doesn't go after you, then you can always create a trap. You could lure the opponent in to go after your infantry core base and then swing in the Ravenwing and Deathwing type stuff. So you can, the enemy's attack becomes your attack. Just sort of thinking what... I can see a very strong theme with Dark Angels, which means I think they would be good fun to play, to use in the game, to come up with a decent strategy. It's got a bit of everything. It's got a defensive block, it's got some bikers and swift moving stuff, it's got some deep strike stuff that can come in as well. So a nice variety, keeping it within the chapter. The only thing is, the only downside at the moment, which sort of puts me off from going for Dark Angels, is a little bit disjointed with the model range. Some models are still quite old. Some of the key characters that are incredible haven't been resculpted yet. And so there is that disjointedness there with the core Dark Angels units, which is a shame. I know there's sort of Primaris variants and stuff, but there's other units thing I think they need to update. And the Games Workshop, you know, especially some of the characters, they could do an utterly incredible job with some of them. But still, there's some very good stuff. The Interrogated Chaplain, for example, beautiful model. So there's definitely some good stuff around. And the other question is, would you go Firstborn or Primaris, or probably a mixture? I think I've done this for every Dark Angels review. I didn't really like the idea of collecting them, and then it's never gone any further than that. Crusade Rules, won't cover that here. I don't play Crusade, I'm sure it's good, but we'll move through that one. Agendas, Honorifics, Crusade Relics, just that section. Battle Traits, Data Sheets. Yeah, so battle traits, that's all within the Crusade rules. So we'll come to data sheets here. So we've heard rules like Inner Circle and Jink. We'll now find out what they are. So Inner Circle. If this unit has the Grim Resolve Chapter Tactic, or has the Inheritors of the Primarch Successor Tactic, and is using the Chapter Tactic of the Dark Angels, then each time a round test is taken for this unit, it's auto pass. They're not going to flinch. While this unit is within engagement range of any enemy fallen units, unless that unit has the vehicle keyword, this unit cannot be selected to fall back. Okay, and then each time you select this unit to fall back, unless it has the Ravenwing vehicle, Ravenwing or Chapter Master keywords, roll 2d6. If the result is equal to is less than or equal to the unit's leadership, it can fall back. Otherwise, it cannot fall back and must remain stationary instead. And then also each time an attack is made against this unit, if the unit has the infantry keyword, unmodified wound roll of 1 to 3 always fails, irrespective of any abilities the weapon or models making the attack may have. Well, pretty good. There's some great stuff here. So the 1 to 3 always fails with wounds, incredible, against infantry. Brilliant. And auto pass morale, some very good. So you've got some key rules here, and as soon as you start stacking them up and overlapping them across the units, you've actually got some brilliant rules here. Jink. If this unit has the Grim Resolve Chapter Tactic, or has the Inheritors of the Primarch Successor Tactic, and is using the Chapter Tactic of the Dark Angels, then models in this unit have a 5+ invuln save against ranged attacks. In movement phase, if the unit remains stationary, it loses this invuln save until the start of the next movement phase. Each time the unit advances to the start of the next turn, it's a 4+ invuln save instead, and that is excellent. That's against ranged attacks. So another one, excellent, Jink, fantastic. Very, very good indeed. Yeah, so what I was talking about earlier, Azrael desperately needs a resculpt. The model's fantastic. The original model's great. I remember seeing these models when I was getting back into 40k, they're incredible. And Samael as well. That's not new, is it? I don't think so. That's the one, look, Ezekiel and Asmodai. Shame, they desperately need to be upgraded. I know for old sculpts they are really good, but I would still look forward to new plastic upgraded sculptures for those characters. That would probably draw me into going for Dark Angels, I think. So we'll have a look at these here, see what the rules are, and I'll give you an idea on points as well. A couple points at the end, it's not going to be a problem. So Azrael, power level 8, movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, 5 attacks, excellent, 2 up armor save. Only 1 per army. The lines are off then. Before selecting targets, select one or both of the profiles below. If you go for both, then it's -1 to the hit roll. So you've got the Mastercrafted Bolt Gun, range 24, rapid fire 1, strength 4, -1, 2 damage. And the Mastercrafted Plasma Gun, rapid fire 1, strength 8, -4, 2 damage. There's no gets hot with it. Not bad, it's okay. Sword of Secrets, +2 strength, 8 -4, 2 damage. Each time attack is made with this weapon, unmodified wound roll of 6, inflicts a mortal wound in addition to normal damage. So stat line's not too bad, it's okay. Doesn't seem too expensive. She's got Angels of Death, does have Inner Circle. They've got the Iron Halo for the 4+ invuln save. She's got Chapter Master. In your command phase, you select a friendly core or character unit within 6. You can reroll hit rolls. Watcher in the Dark. Once per battle, this model can attempt to deny the witch as if it were a Psyker. If the model attempting to manifest the psychic power as Chaos Psyker, you can reroll the Deny the Witch test. Very useful. Supreme Tactician. If your army's battle forwards and this model is your warlord, you get 2 command points. Nice. You got Rites of Battle, rerolling hit rolls of 1 for core units. And Lion Helm. Whilst the friendly Dark Angels infantry or bike units within 6 inches of this model, models in that unit have a 4+ invuln save against ranged attacks. I think that's the old rule that's transferred over. That's incredible. Azrael. So, if he's less than 150 points, then roll something out. I doubt it. He's 170. Now he's not too bad. So, for example, that core block of infantry in the middle of your line, that battle line with a bit of firepower support, I'm going to sit on top of the objective, have him bang in the middle, 4+ invuln save across the board. You can intervene in close combat, provide a little bit of firepower as well. Excellent. So all he needs is a buddy Psyker to sit along next to him. That'll be the sort of the battle line block complete here. Another option is Belial, however it's pronounced. Coming at 140, so cheaper option. Movement 5 though. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+. Yeah, this is Deathwing, I'm thinking he goes with them. Yeah. Strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds for him, 4 attacks, leadership 9, 2 up save. So you've got the Mastercrafted Stormbolter, range 24, rapid fire 2, strength 4, -1, 2 damage, and the Sword of Silence, +2 strength, 8 -4, 3 damage for this one. And it's always 2s to wound unless it's a vehicle. Pretty good. Angels of Death, teleport strike, so you can deep strike him with the other Deathwing units. Inner Circle, 4+ invuln save the Iron Halo, Rites of Battle, so there's your core units within 6 inches, rerolling hit rolls of 1. Grandmaster of the Deathwing, in your command phase, select one Deathwing core or Deathwing character unit within 6 inches, it's rerolling your hits, and the Parrying Blade, it's -1 to the hit roll, close combat against him, which is not too bad at all. Still like Azrael though. And if Games Workshop, I don't know, if they were to resculpt him, just the pose of the original model is fantastic. That with the sword raised high like that. Massive fan of that model. Really am. Samael next on the bike. So this is your Ravenwing HQ option. Movement 15. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 5, 8 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, and 3 up save. So bolt pistol, mastercrafted plasma cannon, so range 36, heavy D3, strength 8, -4, 2 damage and blast. And a twin storm bolter. And then the Raven Sword, +2 strength, 8 -4, 2 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, if the bearer made a charge, its strength is ×2, so strength 8. It's got Jink, Inner Circle, Angels of Death, Iron Halo 4+ invuln save, the Grandmaster of the Ravenwing, so it's a core Ravenwing or character unit within 6 inches, reroll the hit rolls, reroll hit rolls of 1 for core units within 6 inches, and you've got the Turbo Boost, which is your guaranteed 6-inch advance. I think many of the rules seem to have just transferred over with these, just quite sensible. Ezekiel next. And he would suit quite well. You can manifest 2 and deny 2, so that's really good for a Psyker. And just looking up the cost, Ezekiel's 125, so pretty good. And I'm looking up, where is he? Samael, he's 150 points. So weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 5, 3 attacks base, leadership 9, 2 up save. So it's equipped. He's equipped with the Deliverer pistol, which is strength 4, -1, 2 damage, and the Traitor's Bane, which is +2 strength, 8 -3, D3 damage. And if it's against Fallen or Heretic Astartes, so again going after Chaos stuff, it's damage of 3. Nice weapon. Not too bad for a Psyker. Usually their weapons are not that great, but this one's pretty good. Angels of Death, usual rules. It's got the Psychic Hood, Master Interromance. Each time this model attempts to manifest a psychic power from the Interromance discipline, here it is, +1 to the psychic test. That's what I was looking for, just to help out with some of those powers. So he's the one to go for. Book of Salvation, it's an aura ability. Dark Angel's core or character unit within 6 inches. Each time the unit fights, till the fight is resolved, +1 to attacks. Characteristic of models in that unit. This is not cumulative with additional attack for shock assault. So you would get this, for example, if you've been fighting on the second round of combat, you're going to get your +1 kicking in. And he's got a 4+ invuln save as well. It's a really good psycho, that one. And again, fantastic pose. Can you imagine that being updated? Whether they would Primaris size them, turn them into Primaris type models, I don't know. But fantastic. Original models, fantastic. Games Workshop, I think, would be wise to keep the pose, I think, and then just go for the resculpt. But then would they bother? If they didn't turn them into Primaris models, would they even bother going for the resculpt? Because they're already pretty good. I don't know how much hope there is of them being done. You've got Asmodai here. So with him, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, 3 up save. Usual bolt pistol, blades of reason, +1 strength, AP 0, 2d3 damage. Each time the bearer fights, makes additional attack with this weapon, and no more than one attack can be made with this weapon. And then Crozius Arcanum, the usual rules for that. Exemplar of Hate. Each time you roll to see if the litany of hate recited by this model is inspiring, add 1 to the roll, so it's 2s. In addition, add 3 inches to the range of the litany of hate recited by this model. Okay, and then the 4+ for the invuln for the Rosarius, Aura of Dread, also enemy unit is within 6 inches, it counts as being below half strength, and spiritual leaders, while a friendly Dark Angel's core unit is within 6 inches of this model. Models in that unit can use his own leadership, same as the usual chaplain. Okay, so on to Interrogated Chaplain next. So apparently, very good. Now where you can, because he's like a standard Interrogated Chaplain, you can then go for combos with relics, warlord traits, and special issue war gear, I think, on him, just to make it really good. So if you know some good combinations, leave that in the comment section below. But this is, you know, one of the newer models in plastic, and where would he go? I'd have him around with the army somewhere. So we'll maybe go for, yeah. So what I'll do here is just go for his stat line then. It's weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds. It's 4 attack space. And you can build on and improve on that as well. So that's him. So then next is the Ravenwing Talon Master. So an 18-inch move, this is your land speeder. Again, a model that could do with a resculpt here. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 6, 8 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8 and a 3 up save. It's got the twin assault cannon, usual rules for that, twin heavy bolter, tons of DACA from this thing, hitting on 2s, brilliant. And obviously there's no minus for movement now as well, so it's a good option. And then a power sword as well. It's like how interesting, it's like a lieutenant here. It's an aura ability. Dark Angel's core units within 6, reroll wind rolls of 1. There's the Company of Heroes rules for lieutenants. It's like your lieutenant here. But it's a lieutenant that's quick enough to hang around with your Ravenwing stuff. How interesting. And then obviously you've got your access to your regular lieutenants, Primaris lieutenants and so on in the regular Space Marine book as well. Lazarus then, this is the Primaris type captain. Yes. So what you're getting with him is 6 wounds and 5 attacks with him. And then Enmity's Edge, this weapon is +2 strength, AP -4, 2 damage. And each time attack is allocated to a psycho model, it's damage 4 instead. Wow. Nice. Iron Halo, Rites to Battle. The Spirit's Helm Aura. So that's granting a 5+, Feel No Pain, 6 inches. And it's Dark Angel's units, so not just core units. Nice. And then Intractable Will. When the model is destroyed, if it's not within engage range of enemy units, do not remove it from play. It can, after the attacking model's units finish making its attacks, be selected to fight, even if it's already fought this phase. After resolving these attacks, the model is removed. This ability is not punitive of the Astartes banner ability or the only endeavour to duty end stratagem. This ability takes precedence. Yeah, pretty good rules for Lazarus as well. And then the Deathwing Strike Master. I'll just go through this quite briefly. 5 wounds, this Terminator model, 3 attacks, 2+ weapon skill and ballistic skill, 2+ armor save. You've got the Terminator 5+ invuln save, the usual power fist, storm shield, and you got tactical precision, so you reroll 1s to wound. Company of Heroes, it's like your Terminator Lieutenant. So that lets you flesh out your Ravenwing, Deathwing detachments here with appropriate HQ choices. Interrogated Chaplain in Terminator armor, so you're bumping up to 6 wounds and 4 attacks. Nice. Weapon skill is 2+. Deathwing Apothecary. It's a Terminator model that's an apothecary. Interesting. Deathwing Champion. You can really do some great conversion work with that. The Halberd of Caliban is +3 strength, AP -3 and 2 damage. Each time the bearer fights, if it's in engaged range of an enemy unit that contains 10 or more models, it can make 3 additional attacks with this weapon. That must target a unit that contains 10 or more models. Wow. Tons of attacks. Brilliant close combat weapon. Then you've got Honour or Death. This model is eligible for heroic intervention at 6 inches, and then each time this model makes heroic intervention, so long as it ends the move either closest to the closest enemy model or within engagement range of an enemy character, it can move up to 6 inches. 5+ invuln save. Martial superiority. At the end of the fight or start of the fight phase, if this model was within engagement range of any enemy character units, it can fight first. Excellent. And then command squad. It's just the structure there. But the Deathwing Champion. Well. Deathwing Champion. It's an elite's choice. 80 points. Get me one of them. Wow. Brilliant. Deathwing Champion. Nice. And he's a character, you could stack up some extra bonuses on him. Yep. Deathwing Terminators. Just the upgraded Terminators now with 3 wounds. You're watching the dark. It's a reroll to neither which test. Just see if there's any special weapons here. Chain fist, lightning claw, power sword, fun damage. No. Okay. That's it. We'll move through there. The Deathwing Knights. Now, I'd planned if I was to do an army, I would try and take these because they're themed, sort of Dark Angel style unit. They look solid. But I would paint like they're too factory fresh looking here. I would really tone them down, go for very grim dark. Theme, grime and rust and so on. Not too over the top, but I would tone them down for sure. So you still got your base of 2 attacks and now 3 wounds of these. Weapon skill, ballistic skill is 2+. And so this model contains the Knight Master is equipped with the Flail of the Unforgiven and Storm Shield. Every Deathwing Knight is equipped with Mace of Absolution and Storm Shield. So your Storm Shield rules now the 4+ invuln save and +1 to your armor save throw. So still a very durable unit. And then the Mace of Absolution, the standard weapon, ×2 strength, AP -2 and 3 damage. It's a superb weapon. There's no minus to the hit rolls. Just a brilliant weapon. Excellent strength. AP -2, it's enough to chip away the armor to cause trouble. But it's not too over the top where it may become a bit irrelevant if you're up against invuln save type targets, and damage of 3, very very useful, especially against armies like Death Guard with -1 damage. It's still going to hit damage 2, and no funny random stuff. Straight damage 3 is excellent. So all very good indeed. And if you're able to stack up some abilities on top of this unit, extra attacks, rerolls, and so on going on, you've got yourself a deadly unit that's going to chew for anything. You'd almost be tempted to take 2 units of 5, maybe. And then the Sergeant then, or Squad Leader, +2 strength, so strength 6, AP -3, 2 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, excess damage it inflicts is not lost. Instead, keep the allocated excess damage to another model in the target unit until either all the excess damage has been allocated or the target unit has been destroyed. So if you find yourself plunging into hordes and stuff, at damage 2 against damage 1 targets, it's just going to overflow from one model to the next. Brilliant. No extra attacks though, just the overflow of damage of that one. But Sergeant's an extra attack anyway, or Knightmaster. I think they're an excellent unit, and it appears with this book you can stack up psychic powers, auras, that kind of thing, to make them really good. Then you've got a Deathwing Command Squad. Nothing extra of them. You've got Bodyguard. Well, if any Blood Angels character unit has a wounds characteristic of 9 or less within 3 inches, enemy models cannot target that character with ranged attacks. And just the structure of it, pressing one save. Okay, and still 2 attack space for them. A Ravenwing Apothecary, so very useful indeed. The Ravenwing Champion, very useful as well. Don't need to do anything really, cover anything here, I don't think so. Just the usual rules. We've got Jink and so on. The Ravenwing Ancient, the banner. Looks fantastic. Beautiful set, that one. The banner, just to start his banner. Yeah. So move along. The Black Knights, 2 attack space of them still, 3 wounds each. Now they come with this is it, the Plasma Talon. So before selecting target, select one of the profiles below. So you can go for standard, range 18, assault 2, strength 7, -3, 1 damage. So just cutting down infantry. Supercharge, assault 2, strength 8, -3, 2 damage. If any ones, then it's the bearer's destroyed. The Corvus Hammer is +1 strength, 8, -1, 2 damage. The Power Maul is interesting, +3 strength, 8, -1, 1 damage. And Power Sword. And that's it. In a circle, Jink, and so on. Right, now we're on to the Dark Shroud and Land Speed of Vengeance here. Nice models. Dark Shroud's giving you 9 wounds, movement 12, it's not the fastest, toughness 6, 3 up save, it's equipped with the assault, heavy bolt, and you can swap it out to an assault cannon. It explodes, and here it is. The Icon of Old Caliban, it's an aura ability. Well, if any Dark Angels unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a ranged attack is made, it's -1 to the hit roll. So, helpful enough. Yeah. And the Land Speed of Vengeance here. Ballistic skill is 3+, 9 wounds, toughness 6, 3 up save. It's equipped with Heavy Bolter and the Plasma Storm Battery. So you can go for standard, which is range 36, heavy 2d3, strength 8, -3, 2 damage, and it's blast. Or you can go for supercharge, which is heavy 2d3, so you can get between 2 and 6 shots. Strength 9, -3, and 3 damage. Any ones is a mortal wound. Pretty good. Depending on, it's a good weapon. The rate of fire is pretty good. Damage output's excellent. And so I would like to, and strength 9 is very helpful with supercharge. And 9 wounds is durable enough. What I'd like to know is the points cost. 120 points. I think that's really good for that. You can use them how you want. You can move them in. Yeah, you can. It's excellent firepower support, especially if you're going exclusively for a Ravenwing styled army. You're going to need some kind of firepower support units to hang around semi at the back and out on the flanks and securing objectives and so on. So take a pair of those for sure. Yep. Excellent. Fantastic model. Beautiful, that one. Really, really good. Good price, I think. 120 points. Then you've got the flyers here. So you've got the Dark Talon. So you're getting the Hurricane Bolter, usual rules for that. Normal movements between 20, it's always a minimum of 20, and 50 inches, dropping to 40, then 30. Toughness 6, ballistic skill is affected by damage, and so is attacks. Wounds starts off on 11. The Rift Cannon, range 18, not too much of a problem if you're flying. Heavy D3, strength 12, blast. Each time An attack is made with this weapon, successfully wounds. Do not make a saving throw that the target suffers 3 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. Okay, just the heavy D3 could be the problem. Well, you can make up for that with blast, so into larger units. And the thing is, the mortal wounds, the wounds overflow, so that could be a good way of using that weapon. It's equipped with a stasis bomb. Once per game in your movement phase, after this model makes a normal move or advances, you can select an enemy unit model and move across as part of the move. If you do so, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds and is caught in a stasis. So the rules that we saw earlier on, unless it's a vehicle monster, it can't fall back, which is interesting. It's got hover jet, so you can declare it's going to hover, so it just becomes movement 20 and you lose airborne, hard hit and supersonic. And that's it for that one. And then the Nephilim Jet Fighter. So usual stat line, a little bit cheaper than the Dark Talon. The Avenger Mega Bolter is range 36, heavy 10. Remember, you're not losing your minus moving. Strength 5 -1, and it is 2 damage. Okay, and then the Black Sword Missile Launcher, range 36, heavy 1, strength 7 -2, -3 and 2 damage. If it's against aircraft, it's damage 4, and it's got 2 of those. And it's got a twin heavy bolter for another 6 shots on top of that, so it's really well equipped. And you go for twin las cannon if you wish. And that's it. So yeah, well equipped, that one. Too bad at all. This weapon profiles. Points values, which you've covered most of these, is equals 125. Asmodee's 130. Interrogated Chaplain, 85 points to start off with. It's very cheap. You give him a jump pack. Okay, and you can give him a Power Fist, for example. Thunderhammer, 20 points. Power Fist is 10. The Interrogated Chaplain, Terminator Armor is flat 100. Lazarus is 110. Pretty cheap for Primaris. The Ravenwing Talon Master is 160. Samuel is 150. The Deathwing Strike Master is 95. The Apothecary is 100. The Champion, the Deathwing Apothecary is 100. The Deathwing Champion is 80. Excellent. The Command Squad's 35 per model. The Deathwing Knights are 47 points each, all in. Oh boy. Deathwing Terminators are 33 points each, but you've got to add your war gear on top of that. The Ravenwing Ancient is 100 points. The Ravenwing Apothecary is 100 points. The Black Knights, 40 points each. 5 points for things like Corvus Hammer, Power Maul, or Power Sword, they're all 5 points a time. The Ravenwing Champion is 70 points, flat, that's it. Fast attack. The Dark Shroud is 130, plus 5 if you want the Assault Cannon. And the Ravenwing Land Speed of Vengeance is 120, plus 5 for the Assault Cannon. And the Jet Fighter, the Nephilim Jet Fighter is 190 points, quite expensive. And then 210 points for the Dark Talon. And that is the end of that. So that's the review for Codex Supplement Dark Angels. I think looking solid enough. If I was a Dark Angels player, I don't think I'd be disappointed here. It seems that the units are solid enough. You've got access to the Space Marine Codex as well, all the wealth of units and rules and stratagems and so on. The stratagems in here look very good. Warlord traits are some great ones. Psychic powers, some ones that I really like in there that seem particularly strong as well. Relics and so on, all looking good. So all in all, I think the Dark Angels have done well, and from what I'm hearing, there's some great combinations available from them. So I think another success here with a Codex supplement. I was talking to, I think it's Tom, he was saying that Space Marines new Codex supplements come out, Space Marines reigned supreme for a while, and then gradually we'll start seeing other codexes coming out. Space Marines getting knocked back with the usual codex creep. We'll see what happens, but at the moment these supplements are looking strong for the Space Marines for sure. Check out all the other reviews on the channel. If you're a Dark Angels player, are you happy with what you see here in the Codex supplement? Leave your own comments and suggestions. Deadly combinations and combos of war gear, traits, relics and so on. What models you'd use, you can leave that in the comment section as well. And then your thoughts on some of the old sculpt models. What should Games Workshop do? Do you really long for the the resculpt of some of the key characters, or does it bother you? It'd be interesting to hear people's different opinions on that as well in the comment section. And as per usual, it'd be great if you can hit the thumbs up for this video, and leaving a comment helps the video as well. Check out gamingfigures.com for discount 40k, and a big thanks to Games Workshop for sending me this book through the post. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.